Welcome. You are here with Dr. Nilda Perez with Business Foresight, creating strategies towards your extraordinary future. Hello once again, and welcome to the Dr. Nilda Business Foresight Show. I always have a special guest, and this special guest, this is smack in the middle, not even in the middle, this is the beginning of the week, but I thought this was such an awesome interview that I didn't want to wait. Not only that, she has something extremely special to share, and I thought this was very timely, so I didn't want to wait till Saturday. So I'm interviewing her today, and I'm sure that you guys are going to really enjoy this. So who I have with me today is Mai Vu. Mai is an award-winning international speaker and a master coach. She has the secret formula for love and truly a happily ever after type of love. This is not a Walt Disney fairy tale, which we all, again, that's usually where it ends. But really, the honest truth is what she's learned is the formula for that happily ever after. And she's more focused on the after than on reaching the happily. So she is adored. She wants to be adored and cherished. And she found how she can actually get that. So she works mainly with very successful women whose life is very demanding, yet what they're really missing is the love and relationship that they want, the ideal love and relationship. So, and that happens oftentimes when we just kind of focus on career and don't really have the time to invest into our relationships. So Mai is the first certified Asian female coach in the world. She is also, of course, since then there are others, but she was the first. And she has trained and certified over 1,000 coaches worldwide. Mai is recently celebrating her 23rd year anniversary, and she's helped her international client base, because she does this worldwide, to find hot love and a hot life and a hot love. And she is truly amazing. Thank you so much, Mai, for being with me.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much for squeezing me in your day so that we can do this. I am so honored. Let's go play.
Let's go play. So the thing that again we met back a few months ago, and I know it seems like a lifetime because there was like this energy between us, and we just connected so well. But when you was sharing with me what you do, my fascination was, okay, how do you sell love? And you do it so well. And you shared with me a little bit about your formula. And I thought that was fascinating. But then most fascinating, and I want to go back to your story, because, where oftentimes people see successful women like yourself and myself, and they're like, oh, wow, they think that we woke up one day and we were just successful. But there was a journey, and I want to talk about the journey. How was that journey for you? And how, you came to this country, there was so much adversity, and yet here you are, selling love.
Here I am selling love. Hear all about it, right? Oh my gosh, this whole journey towards selling love both requires the internal journey and the external journey. So the external journey is, how did I build this business to sell love? And the internal journey is, how do I live this concept, this formula of love, so that I can pass on to my clients, so that they know that I'm not just like reading out of some books to them, but this is like tried and true, and I live this every day. So both of those journeys had traveled at the same times. And it started with, when I was little, 12-year-old, my family had to escape out of Vietnam. And we were on a boat, like one of those boat people in the 70s out of Vietnam. And I almost died, and my family was rescued. So I came into the United States with a lot of typical immigrant mentality: hardworking, but low self-esteem. Hardworking, but all the good things are for someone else. Hardworking, but I didn't date, I didn't have love, I wasn't chosen because I was odd looking. I didn't look like a blonde, beautiful, blue-eyed girl that in the 70s when I was, growing up, that's what was desired in this country. So it was a lot of challenges, both internally and externally. And I thought that I can overcome everything just with hard work.
Right. And here you are, this amazingly gorgeous woman, but didn't see yourself that way.
No.
So you came here and you were so young, and did you feel that you were going to make it big, or that you were going to, arrive to the level of success that you have today?
I was really fortunate because as I was laying on that boat and I almost died, even my mother was starting to worry that, oh my gosh. And I looked at her and I thought, okay, my mother is worried about me. I should be worried. So I went inside and I just had a conversation with God. I said, God, am I going to die? And I heard this voice that said, no, you're not going to die. You have work to do in this world and you haven't done it yet. So don't worry. And from that moment on, I didn't worry about my purpose in life because I knew that I had to do something. So I keep searching and I keep reaching. So in some way, that was such a blessing. That whole escape was such a blessing because it put me on this place of no return. You got to go for it, and you just keep going, and the next piece will unfold in front of you. And so I did.
So, okay, so let's fast forward. So now you're in this country and you're studying and you're working hard. And
as all immigrant children, we should either get a law degree, a medical degree, or an engineering degree. So I picked engineering.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
Yes. So it took me 7 years to get my engineering degree. I thought I was going to climb the corporate ladder. I was a mechanical engineer because I'm really good structurally. I'm good at making sense out of things. And I didn't know it then. I thought that my degree was going to help me figure out, the next invention in the world, or work for NASA or something like that. Except for I actually end up using my engineering brain to help the world understand something very complex called relationship and love. So that's what I love about it.
Here's the thing, though, isn't it true? But the reality is that as children, we're dreamers, and we have these concepts and these ideas, and we're very creative and innovative. And then we grow up, and that goes stifling the older we get. And so what are we taught? I mean, namely in this country, get a degree and you get a job, and you get a good job, and then you climb that corporate ladder. As both women and as women that are non American, like I'm Hispanic and you're Asian, so it's not as easy or as glamorous as they make it seem. So now you were able to do it, but the best part is the fact that you realized that there was more, that you had this amazing brain, and that with this brain you can do more than just figure out how to do something, like NASA, and honestly something more complex, because it's with the emotion, and you've been able to create a formula with the brain that you would have probably, that will, what do you do when you get to NASA? But in life, you really have to feel love and be in love and, be able to thrive. So that's...
Yeah, I'm just super proud of myself. I have to just say it publicly. I'm super proud of myself for figuring out this thing called love and relationship, and give people concrete answers so that they can really either build their life or rebuild their life. And I work with a lot of divorced moms or married moms who are stuck inside a dead-end marriage that they don't know how to turn it around. And that's a very painful place. I was there myself. I married a really great guy, and I loved him dearly, and he loved me dearly. We were good to each other. But for some reason, after 18 years, we were dead. We were like just flattened out, and there was no passion left, and we couldn't help each other go to the next level until that whole thing broke apart. That's the last piece of the puzzle that I needed in order to pull this whole bridge, this whole concept of love and relationship together. So thank you, God, for all the wisdom that's been channeled through me.
Absolutely. So now, most of the time when we create things, it comes from a personal need. How was it for you? What was your need? What did you see as your need to be able to actually come up with a formula? Because honestly, unless for the most part, when we don't need it, we don't invent it, we don't create it. So tell me that journey.
And of all the people who know that, that would be you, right? You're the get your client to invent and exceed and excel from what they are. And you are absolutely right, because it was out of necessity. I was really upset. I was married. I had a good husband. I had a picture of, this was me and my daughter. And we I had a house in a town called Pleasanton. Everything was pleasant in Pleasanton, you know, and I had a business. Everything was fine. Why did it break apart? It didn't make sense to me. Right. And when it did break apart, I had to really ask myself, who am I as a woman, as a mom, as a lover, as a wife in the world? So I actually put myself on a personal PhD program where I pulled apart love, relationship, and sex. Love, relationship, and sex. I pull them apart so that I can really understand who I was, and I could break the cycle of relationship addiction that I didn't even know I had, but I did.
Okay. And I think most of us do.
Yeah.
Most of us do, yeah.
Oh, not most, honey. Everyone does. And the whole world is designed to market, to sell to our addiction around love.
Right.
It started with Disney, with all the castle and the pretty dresses and all that stuff. And then it goes all the way to Madison Avenue with all the products to make you thinner, whiter, hair puffier, you know, like unless you are a perfect model of something, then you're not going to get the love that you want. And we ooh and ah, it's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
And again, this is another thing that's instilled in us as children, and you know, again, it continues to grow even as adults. So so you saw a personal need. So tell me about your personal journey. So you go on this journey to find love, and you take everything apart, and like you call it the PhD of love. And so you stay in your relationship and enhance it, or what happens from that point?
Yeah, no, through a series of unexpected events, my marriage completely fell apart, and I ended up in a tiny little apartment with my daughter, and my husband moved out, and I was shocked. But I was a coach at that time. I had all these skills to look deeper and to transform. So I applied all those skills onto me, and I helped myself start to explore. And this is a little personal and kind of like a fun fact about me is that I went from doing it right. You know, I was Catholic, firstborn, smart girl, you know, and I kept my legs closed like my mother told me to. So I had sex with one man and I married him just like the formula told me to do. And I was supposed to live happily ever after, but I didn't. So I want to know what happened there. So I went from one man all 39 years of my life into experiencing 35 men in 3 years. I wanted to give myself a really broad database so I can understand myself. So, you know, like I said, my engineering mind was guiding me. And so it was a PhD in relationship. And so as I went through, and I allowed myself to experience men in all different capacity, you know, I allowed myself to fall madly in love. Here I was 39, 40, 41, 42 years old, and I'm like falling in love with all these guys, and I have my daughter, and I have my business, but I was studying myself. I was not doing it out of unconsciousness. I was really studying myself so I can see and understand the human pattern that was in me, because I knew that this pattern is not a Mai Vu problem. This is a universal problem between women and men. So I wanted to understand that. So I did. And it was so fabulous to really can see that, oh my gosh, I now know what works and what doesn't work. And I've been able to replicate that with other women in the US and in Sweden and in, you know, Dubai. So I know that this is like international. It's a human condition.
Absolutely. So now you have this formula, and what do you do with it? When did you actually create Hot Life, Hot Love?
Oh, Hat Life, Hat Love. The name itself came to me about 4 years ago with my first round of clients. So can I tell you a little bit about how that magically came out? Like the universe just helped me give birth to this thing. Yeah. So about 5 years ago, I got a call from an old client of mine, and I trained her as a coach. And she said to me, she said, I'm turning 50 and I want to celebrate it by spending time with the people that I love the most. And you're one of them. So will you come over to Sweden and celebrate my birthday with me? And I thought, what an honor. Oh my God, yes, of course I will. And the economy was really bad at that time. Can you help me create the money so I can fly over to Sweden? And she said, how? I said, well, let's put on a workshop. So I rolled out my concept in Sweden. That was the very first time I tried it out in a public format. And these 12 Swedish women that barely spoke English, I didn't speak any Swedish, and yet they understood my concept and they got it. And it was so amazing. Wow. And they went, and when I went home, they tagged me and they said, hey, it's not done. We want to really learn this. So can you please develop this? So I created an online product right then and there for them. I charge very little so that I can test it out. And, talk about innovation. I know it's big for you, right? So innovate, just keep responding to what the market wants. And I did. And lo and behold, this is the beginning of the birth of my concept.
Okay. So this was when? When did you actually do this?
I started about 5 years ago, pulling this whole thing together. I've been working with individual for 20 something years, and all of this just kind of, how this is, right? Things leak into your work until you sit down and you had to create a formula, you had to create a structure. And when you create a structure, it's like, oh my God, this stuff really works. And then you test out the structure. Since then, I got to test it out in the last 5 years, and it's been amazing to watch this concept really thrive in the world.
Okay. That's fabulous. Fabulous. So here is the thing. For me, the question always is, if you know this really works and there's a formula out there that can actually give you the results that you want, why wouldn't you do it, right?
Well, because we're talking about love. This is the funny part. The world is trained to invest money and time to become a profession. Like, if you want to be a doctor, you go and invest 10, 20 years to become a doctor or an engineer or even an accountant or even a hairdresser, right? You go to school to do this. But for some reason, when it comes to love, we all think that we should figure it out. Wow. And to make it even more crazy, not only that, the only model of love that we have seen is through our parents. And most of the time, it's pretty scary stuff. Yes. And yet we should ourselves to do this by ourselves. And if by chance the marriage fall apart, then we judge ourselves for not being smart enough, for not knowing how to do this. It's so crazy.
It's our fault, right? It's our fault.
It's always our fault.
If this did not work out, then it must be our fault, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And especially with women, there's something very universal that happens. Women are run by three things that really run us into the ground, both in love and in business. So you must know these three things. The first thing that we're run by is we tend to do everything ourselves. I don't know who died and made us queen of everything, but we say yes to everything. And if we don't, then we feel like we didn't give enough. We're like, there's something wrong with us. Right. And that's because we're run by the second thing, which is deep down inside, no matter how smart we are, we still think we're not good enough.
Wow.
No matter how many degrees you have, you could graduate from Stanford, Harvard, whatever. You're still deep down inside, you think, I'm not good enough. Someday they're going to find out that I'm a fraud.
Wow.
Yep. And then to just like put it all, just to put a nail on the coffin, we walk around thinking that it's our job to make everyone around us happy.
Wow.
So we walk on eggshells, tiptoeing, trying to make everybody happy, cowering, twisting ourselves, into a pretzel so that people would be pleased with us. And so with these three things, taking on everything, doing everything by ourselves, being run by the fact that, you feel like you're not good enough in anything you do. And then you walk on eggshells trying to please everybody. Can you see how you got here?
It's exhausting. Yeah.
It's exhausting. And it's exhausting both in relationship and at work, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I know you've written the book. So tell me a little bit about the book. And then I really honestly want to delve into the formula. I want you to give the audience the secret formula. So,
okay.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Go ahead.
So here's my book.
Okay.
This is my book, and I chose to use the real thing. This is a book that I take around to do book readings on, and it's tattered because I've been around the country a few times on doing this book. It's such an awesome book because my readers tell me so. I've had people say, May, I took your book and I just read it from cover to cover that one night, and it makes sense. It helped me make sense out of my life. I know, because I'm an engineer. So engineers knows how to make sense out of things, and we know how to solve problems. And if you have a love problem, that's for me.
Solve it, right?
You betcha. Yeah.
So the book it's divorced. What is it? Divorced Mom?
It's called The Divorced Mom's Guide to Dating. It actually is applied to everybody, every woman. In fact,
right,
the men.
the question, because a woman that's not married or not divorced, what would give her the incentive to buy it? Tell me why. What?
Yeah, well, I had to call it Divorced Mom's Guide to Dating because I was a smart marketer, and you have to niche yourself down really tight. So that's the niche. But really the concept in here, the subtitle is How to Be Loved, Adored, and Cherished. So whoever that wants to be loved, adored, and cherished, this book is for you, actually.
So yeah. I know in there you have the formula. So I want you to share the formula with us.
Well, okay. So the formula is this. We are run by three parts of ourselves. Three parts. And we don't know these three parts very well. And so when you don't know these three parts, you end up with the life that you end up right now. Right. So the first part of us is what I call the peasant part of us. So the peasant woman, which is the hardworking, struggling, I give it all, I do everything. It's you and me. We're the hard workers. Without her, this Zoom call wouldn't happen. Right? Without her, the empire around us wouldn't have been built. It's a lot of work, hard work to put in here. However, when we are just focused on just that part of ourselves, we run everything into the ground.
Okay.
Have you ever wondered why when you met someone and you're like goo goo gagaing over each other and everyone's falling in love and it's so wonderful, right? And you're in love for like 1 year and then 2 years and then life happens and then you're running into the ground and then it's like, why is this relationship so terrible, right? That's what happened. So that's what happened with the hardworking woman will turn everything into hard work. So she'll turn that relationship into hard work.
Okay.
All right. So that's your first P.
Okay.
And the second P is your princess self.
Okay.
This part.
Yeah, this one I haven't heard. So go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The princess part of us is the part of us that really knows our birthright. Our birthright to be loved, our birthright to be cared for, our birthright that we are safe in this world. Unfortunately, she gets shut away a long time ago. So we are only run by the peasant inside us. Does that make sense? The peasant, our mom grew us up to be peasant. It's like by around 6 years old, we start to take the princess dress away. By around 8, you should know these things now, May. By around 12, here's a pile of responsibility, a straight A, get into a good grade, plan for your college. All of the peasant mentalities start to come in and we start to settle and we start to work really hard. And the princess goes out the door, we put all that away and we make that into something terrible. And the princess holds the vulnerable part of us. So when we're not allowed to be vulnerable, we lost her.
Okay.
Okay.
The third P.
The third P is your priestess. This is your powerhouse. And most people, when I go around and speak and I talk about the third P, people they couldn't guess. They could guess the princess, but they couldn't guess the priestess. They're like, priestess, what's that? That's a strange concept. I've never heard that again. Is that like a priest in a church? You know, this is how far off us women are from our power.
Okay.
Our priestess hold our power. She has the wisdom from lifetimes ago and lifetimes ahead of us. She knows why you're here on this planet. She knows, your priestess knows why Dr. Nilda needs to be doing what she needs to be doing. My priestess knows why Mai needs to be doing what she needs to be doing. It doesn't matter that her marriage fell apart. It doesn't matter that blah, blah, blah. Keep going. This is where we're going. Right? So a lot of women either don't have access to this power part in themselves or are afraid of her, or they're so driven by her and don't have the princess part, and then they get all muddied up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's break down the formula, because the formula to me was very fascinating, and it would be for the audience also. And the formula is hot love.
Well, the three P's is a center. Like once you know that, then the formula on the outside is hot love. So hot stand for, the H stand for to heal. You got to heal all your crap from your childhood. And then you're open to the idea of love again. Because most of us women are so shut down that we are not open to love. Men are too, by the way. You guys also cover it up in your own ways. You're not free. That's how come, women and men have a hard time finding each other. So to be open to the idea of love again. And then the T stand for trust. Trust that you can have life exactly the way you want. So that's the first phase. You got to heal. You got to be open to the possibility of love. And then you got to learn to trust. Once you have those three things, then the love part comes in. Right. So the L stand for let love in and let love out. Okay. This actually is a learned behavior. We do not know how to do this. We think we do. We chase after, we go on online dating and we think that's loving. And, you're madly in love with someone. That's not love. That is addiction, and that is hormone running. That's not love. So learn to let love in and learn to let love out is a learned skill that one needs to learn. Okay. And then the second O in love is overcoming your resistance. We are so resistant to love. It's crazy. It's crazy making. It doesn't make sense, right? Here we are again, hungry, looking, wanting love. But when love comes, we go, oh, no. I don't have time for that. Yeah. Oh, no. He's too short. Oh, no. Right?
All the reasons why.
All the reason why. Absolutely. So we have to overcome our resistance to love. And then the V part is vulnerability wins. Vulnerability wins.
The hard part, Mai. That's the hard part. Go ahead.
Why is it hard?
Because it's very hard to be vulnerable. So, all right, I'm going to learn. I'm going to sit here as yours, and I am stuck. My hands crossed, and I'm going to learn. Tell me about the vulnerable part.
Well, because back to the peasant woman, back to the peasant woman thing, she was taught that unless she's strong, unless she's powerful, unless she's proved to the world that she's worthy, she doesn't get to be loved. So she can't be vulnerable. To her, vulnerable is weak. Right? So she's operating. So when you can't go to vulnerability, that means you're operating in the peasant mode. Fearful that people don't love you, that you're not good enough for love. Remember, women that run by, you're not good enough. So the peasant is afraid of vulnerability. So she thinks if she's vulnerable, people will find out. And if they find out, then she's too ugly and too unacceptable. No one would love her, which is so sad. Now, if she had her access to her princess self, her princess knows no matter what you look like, you are deserving of love, right? Think of a little baby. When you pick up a little baby, no matter how ugly, whatever, even with poopy diaper, we're like, oh, you are so adorable. I love you. Right. That's the birthright of a child. That's the same for us. So anyway, so that's the vulnerability. Vulnerability wins. And the last letter is E. E stands for end your addiction to love. End your addictions in love. Because love is like sugar, man. We are so addicted. We don't know what real love is. We are so confused. We are taught to manipulate and control love. We don't know how to really love without addiction.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the formula.
Yes.
Now, this has been, I have to tell you, I've never, and again, I remember that when we met, we had such an attraction. It was a good connection. And when you started telling me what you did, I was like, okay, that love, like you box love and you can sell it. But when you started explaining the formula, I was pretty blown away because, again, your engineer mind was able to break it down, and I was able to resonate with almost everything that you said. Well, yeah, and I'm still stuck on the little vulnerability that I'm like, this is, I mean, look, it's my blanket, right? It's my safety blanket. But again, I know that this is true and this is great. I love this. And you're able to actually show women how to be able to accept themselves and be able to take this next step and in real love. I love that. I think that's fabulous. And I love your ingenuity, your innovation, and even putting the whole process together. To me, that, I'm so fascinated by innovation and creativity. And this to me was just amazing.
Well, as a coach who have worked with people for over 23 years, before I came up with this formula and this structure, I couldn't guarantee my work. Each person would work with me. They would have amazing transformation, but I really couldn't guarantee my work. I couldn't guarantee that if you start here, you're going to end up here in 3 months and end up here in 6 months and end up here in 12. But now that I have a formula and, like you said, ingenuity,
yeah.
Ingenuity is that I could now guarantee it, which is so hard. It's like, bring it, who wants to, bring it, right? It's like, I can guarantee my work, and I can guarantee that I can make sense out of this crazy place that everyone is so confused about. It doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
Yeah. And you can live happily ever after.
Absolutely. And you do some actual matchmaking also, right?
Yes. That's when my clients are healed enough, that's when I start to matchmake with them, because then it's easy. When people want to skip all this stuff and jump into being with a man, right? What good is that? I'm going to put you with the greatest man, and guess what you're going to say?
Yeah, there's always going to be an issue, right?
Right. Oh, I don't know. He's this and he's that, or I'm this or I'm that. Women wreck love. Once you know my formula, and once you can work the formula and you follow it, you can be with anybody and you get your pick. And then you'll have higher quality men that will come and be with you, that will have the kind of conversation that you're longing for. It's hot. That's why it's hot.
That's why it's hot, right?
Yes.
So I know that you have something coming up really soon, and I want you to talk about that. I want you to tell me, because I think this is excellent. Unfortunately, I have something this weekend, but tell me all about it.
Yeah. So 3 times a year, I do a live event to invite people to come and be in the same space with me for 2 days. So this first one is going to be in April 29th, 30th, at the very end of April of 2017. And the next one will be in August 19th and 20th. And the third one will be in Florida. Okay. In Tampa. So I'm very excited to do this. It's like 2 days that will totally transform your life. I guarantee it. If you come on the first day, and if you're not satisfied, I'll give you your money back. That's how proud and how clear I am that you're going to get so much value out of this. And not only will you learn these concepts that will help you with your love life, it will also help you in your business. Right. Money and love are the same energy. So if you know how to let money in and let money out, you can also let love in, let love out. It goes parallel with each other. Yeah. So
if they want
29th and 30th.
If they want to get a hold of you, tell me where they go.
Yeah, so go to hotlove.com, hotlove.com. Whenever you are watching this, you can always go to hotlove.com. And if you want to email, yeah, for the event. And if you want to email me, just put in support@hotlove.com, and it'll go to me and it'll go to my team. So that way we will get back to you. So that
you have a fabulous team. I love your team. Christina is the best. She
is
back to you pretty much immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's one of them. And I have an amazing client care woman. It just, and all of my teams have done my work. So they know it inside out. So they live it. So when you are in relationship with us, you know what it's like to be loved, adored, and cherished in the world.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and once you learn this in all relationships, even in friendships, right? What you expect from friendship.
Absolutely.
It really kind of encompasses all of the relationships. Love, being loved even by friends. And there has to be, because there's a lot of times people, even in their friendships, there's a lot of disparity. It just doesn't, some friendships just don't make sense.
Yeah. Well, and now that I have been living this for 23 years, and especially in the last 5 years of living out this formula, I really get the importance of this work. On the surface, it looks like, oh, she's going to help me find a man, or oh, she's going to help me fix my marriage, or oh, she's going to help me, date better. Underneath it is this. We are all powerful women who are up to something really important in this world. We can't afford to do it by ourselves. We can't. The old saying, behind every great man, there's a great woman behind. Well, now it's a reverse. Behind every great woman is a great man. Okay. And you deserve a great man to come and support and love, adore, and cherish you so that you can do your work in the world. The only reason why I can do my work in the world is because I do have a man who loves, adore, and cherish me, and who cooks for me, who takes care of me, who knows when I'm stressed, and who just does everything. And he would stand there and cry and tear up because he's so moved by my message in the world. So he not just loves me, but he loves my work. He loves my daughter. He loves my community. That's what we need. And then we also need to be able to create that and create a community for ourselves so that your cause will happen in the world. We can't do this by ourselves.
I love you, Mai. I love you. I just think you're so fabulous. I love this. So again, we want to send people to hotlove.com. Very simple. If you can get that part straight, because this is where I always get confused. It's hotlove.com.
I should just get the other URL too, so that way if people mix it up, it's not a problem. Okay, I'll go do that.
It's okay, because it's not that far away. But okay, so but that's a thing, and it really is about having a hot life, and it's not necessarily all sex. It's not sex. It's so much deeper. You go into the real formula of the real depth of love, and I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Mai. I'm so glad that you came, and I know you're in the West Coast, and you came. You took the time to be with me, so I really appreciate this. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed to have you in my life. I thank you, and I look forward to continue this conversation. I love it.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, dear. So I'll talk to you soon. And again, to the audience, go to hotlove.com and find Mai, connect, read, follow her, because she always has an excellent message, and she will open your eyes to things that you probably kind of knew, but you never really had a full sense. I love your ingenuity. I love your innovation. I love your greatness. You are a phenomenal woman. Love you, Mai.
Thank you so much, honey.
Okay, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I want to thank you for being with us on Business Foresight, always creating strategies towards an extraordinary future. Remember, I'm here with you with strategies every Saturday. I'll see you next week.